The Brisbane Lions, they were shocked against the Cats. They began with 2 goals and were in control early, but kicked only 2 more for the game. Chris Fagan, he didn't sound too alarmed about it after the game.
We created a little bit of a fortress for ourselves, and right now that's been challenged. So, we've just got to stay positive and keep working away at our game and know that will turn around. I don't think there's anything in particular that teams are doing to us to make that occur. It's just one of those things in sport.
Is it one of those things? 2 and 4 is becoming a sample size.
Yeah, it's more than one of those things for me, Hutchie. Like, you wanted to trust them, and I look at this now, and you've got to be in the top 4 to win a premiership. And I look at that since the year 2000, you can average 7 losses. Normally it's around 5 or 6 if you want to make the top 4. Some years it's 4 losses.
So with GWS away this week, they're creeping towards that
I think
number.
they're just about there. I just don't think they're going to make top 4 now, and that means they won't win it again.
Yeah.
And I just think with the talent that they've got, we're going to look upon them as one of the most talented groups that wasted it and never won. We may look at Chris Fagan and say, was he right for them for that period of time? He was wonderful. He's been wonderful to set the club up. But I still ask the question, is he not the right man to finish it off?
Are you starting to question whether he's the right fit for them?
Well, I have, but the final series was amazing last year, and a massive tick to Chris and the team. But they've regressed again. They've regressed when they should have gone on with it. They don't look like a premiership team right now.
What are the areas of him that worry you?
I think when key players are out, like Michael Voss wins on the weekend with key players out. I think when Lachie Neale didn't play against Fremantle, their midfield gets smashed. Oscar McInerney's out on the weekend. They don't recover from losing their ruckman. I just don't think they can adjust on the run like other teams can.
And their opposition, Hutchie, the way that they've set up this year is something that you've got to reflect on, and how smart were they in managing their season last year. They knew it wasn't their year last year, and they knew that early. So the changes that they made in the back end of last year, whilst the season was still going, is setting them up. And a few of those were reflected on by Chris Scott before they played in Adelaide this year.
I mean, just tangible things like there's a bye before the final series, so rather than having to wait 6 weeks for surgery to happen, we had Cameron and Blitzarves done, at the end of round 22, still with a home and away game to go. So those guys started the pre-season much better than they otherwise would have. We just know that we're going a bit better now than we were this time last year.
And it's been a masterstroke. He's getting lots out of this team.
Well, look, this is what they did. Henry, round 22, you're done. Rowan, you're done. And then round 24, they just rested everyone, and all their key players that had any sort of niggle. That was it. So they got their surgeries done a few weeks earlier than they would have, back for the start of pre-season. Longer pre-season if you don't play the finals. Now they're undefeated with 7 games to go at home, managing their list beautifully. They're in as good a position as any team has ever been.
As Nathan Buckley pointed out to you on SEN Breakfast this morning, they haven't beaten a lot of teams who've had a lot of wins. I think they're 9 wins and 27 losses to the opponents, which is
that number is.
This is the first test this weekend.
That number's confronting. But go to Adelaide and beat Adelaide, who is a tough proposition there. Beat the Western Bulldogs, who I believe are a stacked unit, and then go to Brisbane, where no one won last year, and beat them in tough conditions. So whilst the numbers stack up, I disagree with that.
He's getting everything out of that team at the moment, without question.